This city in Iowa processes more corn than anywhere else in the world.
We thank the underwriters of John McGivern's Main Streets because without them, we couldn't make this show.
My father taught me that to make great bakery, you have to do it the right way. O&H Danish Bakery, where kringle traditions begin.
Yes, Greendale is beautiful on the outside. But it's what's inside that counts. Who doesn't love opening a door to great food? Whether you want to go casual, upscale, or maybe you want to try something brand new. Come on in. You just gotta see Greendale.
Visit Oconomowoc. Lakes, festivals, shopping, dining, the heart of Lake Country.
Your community's best selfie spot is your type.
The Wisconsin Northwoods are calling. One word, one place. Minocqua.
There's always something shining bright in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin.
John McGivern's Main Streets is grateful for additional financial support from Horicon Bank, the natural choice. West Bend Insurance Company, the silver lining. Our nonprofit, the Friends of Main Streets. And from the Friends of PBS Wisconsin. Thanks, underwriters.
I am in Cedar Rapids, which is named after the rapids of the Cedar River, which have since been tamed by dams. The population of Cedar Rapids is about 137,000 people, which makes it the second largest city in the state of Iowa. The only city bigger, Des Moines. Cedar Rapids is in eastern Iowa, about an hour and a half west of the Mississippi and a half hour north of Iowa City. Ushers Ferry Historic Village.
Take a look around. We're going to start our story in the 1800s with the first European settler to come to this area. He built a log cabin along the river, and his name was Osgood Shepherd.
Osgood Shepherd. So he was the founder of Cedar Rapids.
He probably could have, except here's the thing. He was a little bit of a scoundrel.
Ooh.
Maybe even a horse thief, but definitely a squatter. He basically settled on the land but had no legal claim to it.
So we're not going to find a statue of him downtown?
Not in this town,
okay.
Anyway. But in 1841, a group of good citizens, they came together, they bought Osgood out, and they're the ones who founded the town. And really, look around, some of these buildings are original to that time in the late 1800s. And I mean, just imagine a lot of people bustling around because it was a big hub for business, especially food-related business.
Food, and we're in Iowa, so the food, so we have to talk about corn?
Exactly, oats, corn, and meat packing.
And no more horse thieves?
I mean, not that I've seen, but should we be on the lookout?
You go that way?
I'm looking.
Okay. We're at a beautiful place called the Hotel at Kirkwood Center. So when I walked in, this is what I thought. Is it a Marriott? Is this a Hilton? What like, whose hotel is this?
So we are not affiliated with any brand. We sit on the Kirkwood Community College campus, and we are, as far as we know, the only AAA 4-diamond 2-year hospitality school in the United States. That's a teaching hotel.
So it's teaching those in this industry, the food industry, the hotel industry?
Yes, we have a 2-year culinary arts program, as well as a 2-year hospitality management program, which is focused on the front of the house service. So they work side by side with our professional staff to learn what it's like every single day working in the hospitality industry.
Hey guys, my name's John. This is your classroom?
Oh my gosh, I have the best job in the world. Did you not know that? Culinary's been my whole life, so I love this program. It's great. The best part of it is I get to take all this real world experience, everything that I've done, and I get to come back and give this to the students. The first thing is really building the flavors. So as we have each of these with individual flavors, we need to brighten them and liven them up a little bit.
I'll take over that if you want to start the salad.
Okay.
There you go.
Look at me. Chef Kathy will leave and find her job.
Yep.
And then make this her own.
Correct.
Somewhere. You did good.
She did good. It's not just cooking and food. You have to understand the financials. You have to understand the hospitality. You have to understand how people interact.
Yeah.
You have to understand how to menu and plan. And it's just, there's a lot of aspects to this business.
They did well, didn't they? Good job, you guys.
These guys are rock stars, I swear.
And the one thing that I love about being in this industry is there's never the same day twice.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen. You never know what you're going to walk into.
And isn't that part of the sort of excitement of all of it?
Totally.
And you can't really teach that.
No,
That has to be
they
done
have
here.
They have to feel it and live it to understand. And it's a lot of fun to watch them recognize these things that they're seeing for the first time and like, oh yeah, like this is pretty cool that I chose this industry to go in.
It's great.
Yeah.
Cedar Rapids feeds the world. Take a look. That Quaker Oats plant, it's big. In fact, it's the largest cereal mill in the world. They make a Life cereal and they make oatmeal. In fact, enough oatmeal to fill 3 million bowls a day. Yeah. Did you know that the General Mills plant here in Cedar Rapids is the largest General Mills plant in the country? They make Cheerios. They make fruit roll-ups. Yes, they do. And they make, come on, Betty Crocker frosting, all here in Cedar Rapids. And this is a stupid question, but do you ever eat, let's say, bread? Yeah. You know, the yeast that is in this bread probably came from the largest yeast factory in the world called Red Star Yeast. And you guessed it, right here in Cedar Rapids. Cedar Rapids feeds the world, and I love to be fed. Favorite part? Talk about food. This is Willie Ray's Q Shack. So your name really isn't Willie Ray, is it?
First and middle.
Oh, it's first and middle.
First and middle.
That worked. How long have you been doing this?
I've been in business since July 8th of 2019.
How did COVID affect you?
Most restaurants was closing, and so happened we had a drive-through. So you had a choice. You want Burger King, McDonald's, those type places, or you want to try Willie Ray's. I don't wish it again, but we got to
put you on the map.
Put us on the map.
Yeah.
We focus on the ribs, the chicken, and the pulled pork.
Is it like Kansas City or North Carolina? It's dry rub or vinegar, or what do you have going?
I call it a Mississippi style.
Mississippi
That's where
style.
I'm from. This is where I learned it at, and we do it a little different, but you know.
So what is Mississippi style for those that don't know?
Call it babysitting. You don't leave a baby unattended, you don't leave the food unattended. Somebody got to watch it.
Yeah. And what's the best meal if I were to sit down at your place and have some ribs?
But I would recommend the 2 and 2. You get 2-piece chicken and 2 ribs, or you get the pulled pork with 2 ribs. Come on, John, where you at? You on break, John?
2 and 2.
All right, you want to slice between the bones here, in the middle.
Right in the middle of it.
Yeah. You get your beans right there.
Potato salad.
Oh, yeah.
Mayonnaise based?
Yep.
Do you know there's another kind with vinegar and bacon? You know that kind?
We'll leave that to the Carolinas.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. Pick whatever 2 you want.
Let's do these 2. Look at that. That's experience. Order up! We heard that if there's a storm, if there's a tornado, if something happens that's catastrophic, that you're out there feeding people.
Yeah, it started during the derecho.
What is a derecho?
Well, derecho is a hurricane on land. I think they say it took out 40% of trees or 50% of trees that's here in town. Put the whole city out of power, and we just thought it was a time, and we started giving out meals, and we did it for about a month and a half, and we took it on the road. We've been to Texas, Louisiana, Kentucky twice, and that's what it's about to me. It's about showing love, that passion and love, and passion plus love equal Willie Ray's, like a math problem.
So good. So good. Hungry. To you, Willie.
Yeah.
Good job. Thank you so much.
Seasoned with love, man.
You're the best, man.
If you're looking to escape the hustle and bustle of downtown, drive just a few minutes here to the Indian Creek Nature Center because this place has it all. Over 400 acres to explore. Find your peace and tranquility. You can visit the bird sanctuary. You can view the honey bee hive. Learn about the birds and the bees right here.
We're on a farm.
We're on a farm.
In the middle of Cedar Rapids.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It really is crazy.
Right.
How big is this farm and what goes on here?
Yeah, it's about 2.5 acres and tons of different things go on here. So we grow a lot, obviously. We have kids camps, farmers markets, we do educational classes, we do community gatherings.
How did this urban farm end up in this neighborhood?
In 2008, we had a huge flood. We would have been under about 12 feet of water right here. About 1,500 houses were torn down. We talk about it as a blighted area in a low-income neighborhood. And we thought, what if we turned that blight into beauty? What if we made this into kind of a food oasis?
It's part of Matthew 25, which is an organization
Right.
Well, how's that work?
Really, Matthew 25 is an organization that revitalizes neighborhoods. We run a grocery store about a block and a half from here that, again, is helping to eliminate the food desert that's here. We run a cafe that's a pay-it-forward cafe where anybody can come and eat fresh, healthy, local food for whatever they can afford to pay. Other people kind of tip a little extra so that they can pay for people's meals. We run a tool library. We help 20 homeowners to fix up their homes every year. We teach classes at local schools on gardening and lots of different things that we're doing.
Really important work. It's the flower greenhouse, is that what's going on?
Food, flour, herbs, but we sell. That's part of how we fund the farm, is by a huge plant sale that we do. I think we had like 400 people that came here and bought plants this spring.
So we're here at the end of May. So is this the busiest time for you guys?
This is the craziest time
Is it?
because, you know, not only is everything growing new, but all the weeds are growing new. And
Just for us who need to understand why it was called Matthew 25, can we talk about the book of Matthew?
where Jesus says, whatever you did for the least of these, you did for me. So whenever I was hungry and you fed me, naked and you clothed me, a stranger and you welcomed me. And so we just believe that our faith calls us to invest in overlooked people and places.
It's the living gospel.
Yeah.
Good work.
Thanks.
Thanks for talking to me.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. That is a government building in downtown Cedar Rapids. Now, it's certainly not unusual to find a government building in a downtown location, but there's something unusual about these buildings, something that is shared with only 2 other cities in the world. Can you guess what that is?
These government buildings behind me, they're on their own island. City officials didn't want to have to favor one side of the river over the other, so just buy the whole island like they did in 1909. They named it Mays Island. It's only like this in 2 other places, Paris and Japan.
That was a carriage house to a mansion that was built in the late 1800s and later became the home and the studio of Grant Wood, the famous son of Cedar Rapids. It's roomy, huh?
It was just a very wide open hayloft when Grant Wood moved in, and he realized this could be a livable space and he wouldn't have to pay to live someplace else. He made a lot of modifications while he was here. He put in this fireplace as a hood. He took a metal bushel basket and turned it upside down.
Can we light it up today, Sean?
No,
Come
not
on,
today.
let's
No,
go.
we've closed that part off. He and his mom, who were the primary residents here, they had their beds in these nooks here. In this slope of the roof line, he created these bins that he could pull out and store all of his paintings. He made use of every single space.
And here he is.
Wearing his bib overalls, which is his work uniform. It was while he was here, he had his big break. He had his big break with American Gothic.
American Gothic.
Yes.
Why did he call it that? Is it because it's the way they're dressed? No. It's a Gothic window on a farmhouse in the middle of Iowa. Inspired by the house.
By the house.
Not
That's
the
started.
subjects.
He wondered what kind of people would live in such a house. So he created this couple, and his sitters were his sister, Nan, and his dentist, Dr. Byron McKeevy. And some people say, well, are they husband and wife? And others say, well, is it father and daughter? Eventually, Nan said, oh, I'm going to clear this up. He's way too old for me to have married.
Right.
And so she.
And he's a dentist.
Yeah, he's a dentist. There was no relationship at all. He liked the way they looked in front of this farmhouse.
So he painted that, became successful, and then I guess moved out of here. Right?
Not immediately, no.
He stayed here in this space for a while.
Yeah, for another 5 years, yeah.
How many original Grant Wood pieces are there in your museum?
In our museum, we have nearly 300 works
You do.
By Grant Wood. He was actually a much more sophisticated artist than a lot of people give him credit for. The American Gothic is arguably the most famous American painting of all time. In recognition, it's probably second only to the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
Certainly in parodies, or maybe even surpasses the Mona Lisa.
And parody is but flattery, really. Don't you think?
Can be,
Yeah,
yes, it can be. I think Grant Wood would love the fact that people are still paying attention to American Gothic and how it's still relevant to their lives today.
The Museum of Art certainly has a large collection of Grant Wood paintings, but it also has one of Iowa's only collections of, can you guess?
This museum actually has one of the only collections of Roman artifacts in Iowa. I mean, we're not sure what they all are, but it's pretty cool that they date all the way back to 1st century BC.
This is a very cool place. It's called a Newbo Market.
In here, we have about 25, 26 individually owned small businesses. We really help to incubate them as little baby businesses to grow up and become sustainable long-term businesses.
And what happens once they grow up? Do they?
We hope they fly the nest and occupy a small space out in the community as a brick and mortar and stick around for a long time.
What a place for the community. Come in one door and you've got it all.
You've got food, retail products, none of these things you can find on Amazon, you know?
Emmy,
you guys are gonna have
say
a
hi
great
to
time.
Julie.
Hi, Julie. I'm ready to eat. John's gonna shop and I'll eat.
Okay, good plan.
Good. This is Food Alley.
You need to go to the Caribbean kitchen. You need to order something jerk.
Jerk.
Can you remember that?
Yeah. Are you a jerk?
I have what you need. And I'm Jamaican, so typically jerk chicken.
All right, the jerk chicken, that's what we want. Come to Mama.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Brings me back. I had a macrame lamp. It was an overhead lamp over my dining room.
Oh, wow.
That was so great.
Yeah.
So this is your shop?
Yes, sir.
And you have a shop across the way?
I do.
Look at the one I grabbed. I said, what is this? She said, it's for Pride. I was like, well, look at me, and I'm the one that grabbed it. Of course I did.
What would be the best thing to get here?
Everything is vegetarian, so it's cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom, plenty of vegetables. It's all the flavor combined together.
I smell them all right now. They smell delicious. This looks beautiful.
I think this is very cool. Have you ever heard of a typewriter poem?
If somebody has an idea for a poem, they tell me, and I just write one right here at the typewriter. It takes about 15 or 20 minutes.
So they can shop around and come back for the poem.
Sure can.
Oh my gosh,
Well, look at you. And I'm taking these home. What are you going to do with yours?
I'm gonna eat them and take nothing home.
Is that right?
I'm into the jerk.
That's my co-host. She's jerky.
This landmark is called Mother Mosque, and who would have thought Iowa would have the oldest mosque anywhere in the United States? In 1934, Muslim immigrants from Lebanon and Syria, they came here and built this as their place of worship. Well, they've outgrown it, and they built a new place of worship, but this continues as their cultural and heritage center.
I am in the Grand Lodge of Masons of Iowa, and this is the War Memorial Room. Inside this building is the Masonic Library and Museum. Everything in the collection was donated by members, obviously with varied interest, which is why you have Japanese samurai armor next to an original stone from the foundation of the White House. We're at a company called Raining Rose. It's a manufacturing company, and I don't know the name Raining Rose.
We are contract manufacturers, so all the products that we produce you can buy nationwide in every major retailer, but you'll never find our name on it because we produce it for other brands.
You make lip balm?
We are known for our lip balm, yes.
You are known for your lip balm?
Yes. At one time, we were one of the world's largest consumer of organic beeswax.
That's the beeswax.
We make sunscreens. We also make serums, vitamin C, making that skin look good. We do deodorants.
And it all comes out of Cedar Rapids.
Comes out of right here. We've got close to 300 employees. We're trying to find a balance between profit and purpose, and really trying to leave our community and the world in a better place than when we found it.
Congratulations, that's really great. This is the cooking room?
This is the cooking room. This is a big kitchen, but there's multiple chefs.
There are.
Yeah. And this is one of the most difficult, challenging jobs in the facility because you got to be precise with the raw materials you're putting in. A mistake here has a ripple effect that's pretty large downstream.
Somebody's gonna be mad.
Yeah, somebody's gonna be mad. Put this in and then that in and then eat it to this, and that's exactly how we make our product. We've gone from pouring lip balm into tubes manually to using some of the most high-end robotic automation machines that you can possibly create.
And how many tubes can you get out of here a day?
It's over 1 million if we dedicated it all to lip balm filling. So we do contract manufacturing where we make products for brands. We also do promotional products. These are the giveaways that we're labeling up with your unique logo on it. We're doing that every day.
Who's the product for?
For
John McGivern's Main Streets. Have you ever seen that guy? No. He's so good.
I'm not fast,
Okay, no. I'm just here to support. Is it done?
Yeah.
What the? What?
We're gonna put this in the bag since this is finished product.
There would have been a miscount.
Perfect. I know.
Because I wasn't going to take one, but... John McGivern's Main Street's lip balm. I'm going to keep this one. And then my brother Tim, my brother Jim, my brother Mike. You want one?
A mountain In Iowa. I know, I was as surprised as you are. This is Mount Trashmore. It used to be a landfill. When they capped it off at 6 million tons of garbage, they decided to make it into a beautiful space for the Cedar Rapids community to come and be active. It's the highest point in Lynn County. Check out this view. And it's definitely not a waste of time. I know, I'm sorry.
I'm on the outside of City Hall here in Cedar Rapids. On the inside of this building, there is a mark on the wall. And you know what that mark is? That's how high the water rose during the flood of 2008. When the community talks about what they remember most about that flood, they talk about how the community came together, neighbor helping neighbor. After the flood, they used the opportunity to make their city better. Here on the west side, they built this beautiful amphitheater, which also acts as a flood wall. There's new condos and new bars and new restaurants. So the west side, it's part of what makes Cedar Rapids a great place to live. We're at the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library with the president.
As we would say in our language, vítame vás.
Vítame vás?
Perfect.
Oh,
hey,
good.
you're an honorary Checker.
I was in Prague last year.
Okay.
Let's talk about how this happened here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Interestingly, the state of Iowa in the late 1800s and early 1900s was advertising for workers in Central Europe. And so a lot of these immigrants came here. In fact, my husband's father was a 12-year-old immigrant here. And his parents were working in the meatpacking industry. There was an oat company, which is now Quaker Oats. And then if they were farmers, with the Homestead Act, they could get a free plot of land. So it was a great opportunity. And almost 44% of the population in 1914 was Czech in Cedar Rapids.
So we just thought there was a country called Czechoslovakia, which
there was. In 1918, they became Czechoslovakia.
Independence was found when from Soviet Union?
Actually, 1989, the Velvet Revolution, and then in 1993, they became two independent nations, the Czech Republic and Slovakia. We went for the first time in 1992, and I'd never been there before. And you still had the remnants of communism. I had to stand in line to buy coupons for gas. And you know, you go there now, and it's this vibrant, both countries, the Czech Republic and Slovakia, they're vibrant, beautiful countries. We sort of trace in the permanent gallery this journey, immigration to freedom and democracy. We want to tell the American story, the Czech story, and the Slovak story.
Similar stories, similar cultures, the Czechs and the Slovaks?
They're complementary.
Complementary.
They have differences, but I would say the language is probably 80% the same.
Okay.
But they are two separate countries. We are so proud to be both a Czech and Slovak museum because we capture their stories.
This place is huge. It's a very impressive structure that you have this museum in. And then you told me as we walked over, you know it was moved.
Yes.
Because of the flood of 2008.
Correct.
So this building was moved inch by inch.
Across the road.
Across
and turned around and doubled in size, though. So it was a very big disaster, but it's turned into a blessing in terms of our impact and what we're able to do.
Because I, as an Irish American, can walk through this museum and find similarities in experience, can't I?
Yeah, that's exactly, you've hit the nail on the head, what we want people to do. And we have about 5,000 students that come through our museum every year, and we say to them, what's your nationality? They'll say, you know, Mexican, German, Norwegian, and we say, okay, today you're going to learn the Czech and Slovak story, and go home and ask mom or dad or grandma or grandpa, what's their story? And those stories are the ones that really define the future, because from those stories we can teach future generations what our ancestors went through.
You don't ever have to worry about the weather when you come here because their skywalk system connects 15 city blocks. So why am I not in the skywalk filming this? I don't know. You know, the people from American Gothic, they didn't look like they were having much fun, but we sure did.
We had fun. One of my favorite days, you know, the smells of this town. I love the day that it smelled like Crunch Berries, my favorite cereal.
Yum.
God, can you imagine living in a town that smells like this? I just
cereal.
love
We
it.
just need some milk.
Get your own, lady.
I have a pitchfork and I know how to use it.
There's nowhere else I'd rather be. The heart and soul of communities right here.
When I do it over, my hair's like flying in my face. I'm sorry. I was like,
The west side of De Pere is a great place to live.
De Pere. That is the funniest government bully I've ever seen. We sure did.
We did.
We did. Did you see her? She went.
Nobody really said good job, John.
Why am I here?
We got to be done, I think.
We thank the underwriters of John McGivern's Main Streets because without them, we couldn't make this show.
My father taught me that to make great bakery, you have to do it the right way. O&H Danish Bakery, where kringle traditions begin.
Yes, Greendale is beautiful on the outside. But it's what's inside that counts. Who doesn't love opening a door to great food? Whether you want to go casual, upscale, or maybe you want to try something brand new. Come on in. You just gotta see Greendale.
Visit Oconomowoc. Lakes, festivals, shopping, dining, the heart of Lake Country.
Your community's best selfie spot is your type.
The Wisconsin Northwoods are calling. One word, one place. Minocqua.
There's always something shining bright in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin.
John McGivern's Main Streets is grateful for additional financial support from Horicon Bank, the natural choice. West Bend Insurance Company, the silver lining. Our nonprofit, the Friends of Main Streets. And from the Friends of PBS Wisconsin. Thanks, underwriters. I don't know if I've ever seen a cleaner.
I'm not really sure I like that. I think I try another one.
So
good.